Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hey everybody, welcome back to You as a Whole, Body, Mind, and Soul. And I'm Justin MIRIGLIANI, I'm your host, and we've gotten to know each other pretty well over the last, what is it now, since September, I think we started. And it's good to have everybody back. Hopefully we'll have some people chatting in and asking questions. So the topic for today, we've talked about weightlifting, we've talked about diet, we've talked about religion, we've talked about departed loved ones and miracles and all kinds of different things. And today we're going to talk about age. And why are we talking about age? Well, because age has been on my mind recently, so I'm going to put it on your mind now. In 4 weeks, I'm going to be 50 years old. And I was dreading the thought of 50. I was dreading the thought of 40, to be honest with you. I mean, I remember being 39 and thinking, oh man, here comes 40. And if the 40s went by like a rocket, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting here at 49. And I don't know. I think so many people just give up because they see a number. I really do. When I turned 40, so we're talking 10 years ago, really. I had friends saying, well, you can't work out like you did before because you can't recover the same way. Or you can't play this sport anymore because you could get hurt and you could really be in trouble and be out of work or whatever. Or you can't be this active because you're too old and it's time to let it go. BS. That's what I say to that. BS. I mean, why? Why? If you can do it, do it. So I'm going to be 50. What does that mean? What's the big deal? What are we talking about? Should I'll give you some examples. So All in the Family is one of my favorite shows growing up. That was from the 70s. Some of you are not old enough to remember All in the Family. Some of you are old enough to remember the entire run of it, 12 years, 13 years of the show. And Archie Bunker, the lead character, looked like an old man, and they talked to him. The old man, they called him sometimes. His son-in-law, Michael, Meathead, would call him old man. He was 48 in the show. And as the show went on, he obviously got years older, so he went through his 40s, 50, 51. So you get the idea, but he looked like an old man. He looked like he was just great and out. And I know I got gray in my beard and most of my hair is still black. So I'm happy for that and I'll take it. But, I think we have a choice. And I think the character Archie Bunker, or maybe the actor Carol O'Connor, decided that at 50 or 48 or whatever he was, that it was time to just be older. And I don't agree with that. I really don't. I don't see the difference between me now and me in my 20s. To be honest with you, and I know this sounds stupid because I used to laugh at people when they would say this. When I was in my 20s, I would hear older people say, I'm bigger, I'm faster, I'm stronger. Well, I'm not stronger because I lost a lot of weight. So I lost a lot of strength. So I'm not as strong as I was 2-3 years ago when I was benching almost 400 pounds. But I could jump rope for an hour and 30 minutes, which I couldn't do in my 20s. I could play hockey all day with 20-some-year-olds. Now, are they better than me? Are they faster than me? Sure. But can I stay up with them? Yeah, I can stay up with them. I don't make a fool out of myself. I can do all kinds of cardio, run the steps. I ran just this summer 70 flights of steps in full hockey equipment without stopping. 70 flights. It's almost all the way up the old World Trade Center buildings, right? They were 110 stories. So I went up and down the steps, not just up and down 70 flights of steps. And I'm not saying this to say, hey, look at me, I'm a great athlete, or what I could do. My point is I could be Archie Bunker and I could sit in the chair and I could drink beer and I could get heavy and I could get to the point where I just give up, or I could say, you know what, Father Time, you're gonna have to take me kicking and screaming, and that's the way I'm going. So we do have a comment. I just want to take the first comment, so please, if we could show that on the screen. So Steve Klein, thank you for coming in. I'm age 71 is just a number. That's right, Steve. 71 is just a number. I see people in the gym in their 60s and their 70s who look phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I can see your picture. You look great. I would never even guess that you were in your 70s. It is just a number. Now, does that mean that, let's be honest, all of us who are now aging, do we think about it? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's got to cross your mind. I'm not going to tell you that there aren't nights that I think, gee, I wish I was 25 again. Of course I do. I would love to have that back. But at the same time, there are things that I've gained with age. Obviously, maturity. Like I said, my cardio is better than it's ever been before, and that's unusual. I was chronically ill through my 30s, so I didn't have 30s really. I was not well. 2 years ago, I was 252 pounds of fat. I mean, just gigantic, overweight, and it was just a mess. And so to me, it's like a new lease on life. We have another comment, so I always try to take them as fast as I can. So let's say, okay, oh, Rachel, welcome back, Rachel. Rachel's a good friend of mine. We've been friends since our teen years, going back a long time. So I know a guy who played polo up till he was 80. I think age is this mental state of mind. There may be more aches and pains, but I'm also wiser. And she's right. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, there are aches and pains, Rachel. I agree with you. And there's some nights I'll wake up and I'll have pain in my shoulder and it'll be hard to go back to sleep because my shoulder hurts. But then the next day I'm in the gym and I'm bench pressing 300 pounds and doing it for reps. So it's not going to stop me. I don't care about the pain. I don't care about, well, your joints are going to go bad, or you're going to need a knee replacement at some point. You're going to need this or that. I'm living for now. I'm not giving up. Like I said, Father Time's going to get me sooner or later. I know that. I mean, I can't beat Father Time. Nobody can. But I can fight him as much as I can, and so can everybody else. But it's also like I haven't leg pressed. And we talk about body, mind, and soul. And one of the, as I'm always open about is I'm big into working out. I want to be as big and strong and muscular as I can be. That's what I want to do. I've always wanted to do that from a little kid, and I want to do that now at 50. Uh, so from 5 to 50, it hasn't changed. I still have the same mindset that I want to be big, I want to be strong, I want to be tough, and I work on it. So I haven't leg pressed in 20 some years because I have an ileostomy. And I've been afraid, what's going to happen. I have a slight hernia there, and if I, will I get hurt? And I just said, the hell with it. The hell with it. If I get hurt, I'll have surgery again. That's all. I don't care. And I put 14 plates on there. It's like 700 pounds, and I leg pressed that for 10 reps. And that's not even my best, but that's after not doing it for 20 years. I haven't touched the leg press machine for 20 years, and just jump right on it and put up 700 pounds for 10 reps. I mean, I'll be over 1,000 within a couple of weeks or a month or maybe 2 months. But my point is not the numbers. The point is it's a mindset. It's like I'm not. Was I a little intimidated when I sat down at that machine? Yeah, yeah. I was like, what if I don't have it anymore? What if I? And then I said, you know what? You got it. Just do it. So am I going to put 8 plates on the next time I go in the gym? You bet you I am. I'm going to put on 8 plates. And the next time I go in, will I put 9 plates? If I get the 8 plates for 10 reps? Well, I put the 9 plates on, you betcha. And then I'm just going to keep going from there. And that's the way it's going to work. And that's just, I don't know if that's just the way I'm geared or if that's just the way that, I think it's a choice you got to make. We have another comment, so please go ahead and let's see that comment. And it's for Dr. Jacqueline. I am stronger than I've ever been. I feel like a beast. I can't control my skin or other age-related things, but I focus on my strength. And that's really key. I mean, to focus on the things that you can focus on, right? We can't focus on grays. I mean, I guess you can. I could color my beard if I want. I could color my hair. I don't really have to, my hair, but my beard I would have to color. But I don't need to. I mean, I don't think it's necessary. And for women, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, all women as they get older, um, as you go through your 70s, your 80s, there's gravity, right? So breasts are going to start to fall a little bit. And it's inevitable. It even starts in your 30s, let's be honest, right? And into your 40s, 50s, 60s, and it gets harder and harder. Men don't have the same issue. Men have more of the issue of the belly, where you get the belly fat and it grows. But for women, it's harder. And let's be honest that it's harder because that's what gravity does over time, and it's pulling down, and men just don't have that as an issue. But those are things that you can't fight. You can't fight. Like if I get a bad back and I have to take a couple weeks off of the gym, yeah, all right, so that could be age related, but that doesn't mean that I'm done. That doesn't mean that it's over. That doesn't mean that it's a just a lost cause. That doesn't make any sense. When you get sick, do you go to the doctor? Of course, because you want to get better. You want to get better. You know, sarcopenia is where your muscles stop growing, and you get muscle shrinkage. Now, for me, it's going to happen. I don't have a choice in that. But when is it going to happen? I'm going to make it last as long as I can. I grew 20-inch arms naturally. I never took a steroid. I took a lot of whey protein, a lot of hard work, a lot of heavy lifting, and I was genetically gifted in the bicep area. Now, there's other parts of my body that I'm not genetically gifted. My chest is not genetically gifted. It's okay. It's a decent chest, but it's not, like super. My shoulders are strong, but they're certainly not like bodybuilder, genetically gifted. My legs are extremely strong, but they don't necessarily look genetically like a bodybuilder. It's just the way that I am. So I try to keep on as much muscle weight as I can while at the same time losing body fat. We talked about that before, body recomposition. It's virtually impossible to do both. I know a lot of people try to do both where they gain muscle and they lose weight. You almost can't do that. You have to pick one or the other. Right now I'm in a cut. So I'm cutting. I'm getting stronger, but I'm also losing muscle mass because I'm cutting. I'm eating like 1,200 calories a day. Now, once I get down to about 195, well, 190, 185, and I lose every bit of belly fat. When my body fat's down into the teens, which I'll get it down into the teens. Once it's in the teens, that's when I'll start to bulk up again, but I'll bulk up the right way. See, I did dirty bulking when I started in 1998. Well, I started lifting really when I was 12, but 16 is when I really got into it. Couldn't put a ton of muscle on, but got really, really strong. In college, I was ripped. I mean, I was just 153 pounds, but totally cut and very muscular, but small. I was only 153 pounds. So I was a little guy, but I had a lot of strength and I had a lot of muscle. But then I didn't like that. I wanted to get bigger. I was tired of having smaller arm. I had like maybe 16-inch biceps at the time. So what I did was I ate everything in sight. I ate bad food, good food, junk food, whatever, and just lifted like crazy and ate whatever, took weight gainer, and it worked. I mean, I got, like I said, 20-inch arms, but at what price? I put on belly fat, and that's unhealthy. And my blood pressure was 157 over 96 or something like that last year or 2 years ago. And there was a price to be paid. Was I strong as a bull? Yeah. Now I'm still strong, but I'm not as strong because I'm smaller. I'm 202 pounds right now as I broadcast this show. But that was a sacrifice that I had to make to uh, get to where I want to be, and I'm going to get even smaller. You can get stronger and smaller, but you can't get more muscular and lose weight at the same time. So people who are doing that, don't do that. I've mentioned that before. Pick one and go with it. If you want to bulk up, bulk up. If you want to cut, cut. But if you're going to cut. Cut your calories, get down to where you want to be body fat wise, then bulk up with muscle with good food. Don't dirty bulk like I did. I made mistakes. You get older, you get wiser. So now I'm going to be 50. I'm going to keep cutting. Once I get down to like 14, 15% body fat, that's when I'll start to bulk again. But I won't bulk by eating cake and ice cream and all those things that would cause you to also gain body fat. I'm going to bulk up by eating a lot of carbs, complex carbs like oatmeal, quinoa, a lot of fruits and vegetables, which I do already. So, again, you get smarter as you get older and you learn things. I look at people tonight. I was looked at some was watching TV actually, and Mario Lopez came on, and Mario Lopez is anybody my age knows from Saved by the Bell. He pretty much looks the same, and he's 51, so he's actually older than me, and he looks like a young guy. I think it's a decision. I mean, I wish I had pictures of Archie Bunker at 51 and Mario Lopez at 51, and you could see the difference. I mean, it's like a dramatic difference. I mean, look at um, Ralph Macchio. I mean, Ralph Macchio is 62 years old. He's older than Mr. Miyagi was in The Karate Kid. Mr. Miyagi, Pat Morita, was 59, 60 in The Karate Kid. And we got this guy who is Ralph Macchio, who's 62, older than Mr. Miyagi. And Mr. Miyagi was supposed to be a sage old man. You could choose what you want. You don't have to be the sage old person. You could be a sage young person, just in an older body. That's all. So I want to say hi to Steve and Kim in London. All right. That is so cool. Watching from London. So thank you for joining us from around the world. That's always pretty neat to have that situation. Um, people, and I don't get annoyed. I don't get annoyed. I get frustrated when people use we with me. When they say we're getting old, or we're getting past this, or we can't do this anymore, or we no, speak for yourself. I would never say that to anybody. I never say we. There are certain things I can't control. I'm an ostomy. I'm going to always have an ostomy. I can't do a thing about it. I'm not going to be able to change it. But I'm not going to let that ruin the rest of my life. I was talking to my cousin about he's single, and we were talking about dating, and he said, "Well, I'm 52 and it's over." So why is it over? You're 52. What makes it over? And he said, "Well, women, after a certain age," and I wish I could get a woman guest to talk about this. It'd be really neat to hear their counterpoints to this. But some guys will give you the argument that women are no longer interested in dating or sex or any kind of physical intimacy after a certain age. And again, I call BS. I don't think that's true. Now, are there some? Sure. I mean, I think it's a generalization. I like to think that even people who get older into their 70s and 80s still yearn for physical affection, that it's not just, let's give up because we're older. Why? I mean, why punt half your life? If I live to be 90, I still got 40 years to go. Am I just going to punt the 40 years and be like, well, 50, I can't really do this anymore? Or am I going to leg press 1,000 pounds? Am I going to bench press the 400 pounds? Am I going to jump rope for 2 hours eventually? Yeah, I'm going to do all of that. And then when I'm 60, I'm going to keep trying. And it might not be 1,000 pounds anymore. It might be a little bit less, but I'm never going to stop until that last breath, and that's when it's going to stop. Um, Easier said than done, sure. Are there days that I don't feel like I can do it? Yeah. There are days where I'm depressed, or days that I feel beaten, or feel like I'm weak, can't do it. But today I didn't feel like going to the gym. I don't want to go at all. And I just pushed myself, got in the gym, put 225 pounds on the bar, and did rows, and did row after row after row, set after set after set, until I almost fell to the floor. But, could I do that at 29? Nope. Could I have done that at 35? Nope. Could do it at 50. And again, it sounds like, oh, you're full of yourself. You're bragging about this. It's not that. It's a decision. I had to decide 2 years ago, how to decide. Do I go the Archie Bunker route and just get fat and stay out of shape? And if people want to do that, that's okay. I'm not fat shaming people. It's okay if you're overweight and you're okay with it and you feel okay with it and you're happy with yourself. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you don't have value, that you're not lovable. No, if that's what you want. But remember, there's health risks that come with these things. And my thing was not just that I was heavy and I was upset because I didn't like the way I looked, which I didn't, to be honest with you. But I didn't like the numbers either. I didn't like the cholesterol, the LDL that was off the charts, the triglycerides that were off the charts. It was just a mess. Blood pressure, again, 157 over 96, resting heart rate of over 109. I mean, it just wasn't tenable anymore. So I had to decide, do I become an old man and just break down and just have things just go? I had fatty liver, all these things. I've had enough health issues in my life. I don't need more. So I decided I'm going to go the other route. So I'm going to stay as young as I can for as long as I can. And we have another comment. So please, if you could put that up. Okay. What kind of jump rope do you use or recommend? Well, here's the honest truth. I don't use a rope. I don't use a rope. I actually just do the motion with my hands, with my arms. I spin and I skip rope like a boxer. And I'll tell you why I do that, because most of the places where I jump rope, it hits the ceiling. And when it hits the ceiling, it stops me. And then I got to start all over again and start redoing it again. And then I start spinning again, and then it hits the ceiling or hits the floor. I mess up and jump. The rope itself to me makes no difference at all. It's the motion, it's the up and down, it's the legs moving, it's the arms moving, it's the pumping. I don't want anything to stop me. I want to keep going, and I put on a clock and I watch that clock and I just keep looking, and I wait for it to hit an hour and a half. When it hits an hour and a half, I fall over. To be honest with you, my legs are jelly by the time that's done. I mean, I'm literally almost crawling to the kitchen to get water because I'm dehydrated. I don't drink during the whole thing. So I'm dehydrated during the whole thing. I don't I can't stop for water. I won't stop for water. That's mental too. That's another thing. Water. Do I need water? Yeah. But you know what? I'm going to teach my body how to go without water for a while. And that's the way to do it, is to show your body that tell your brain, look, you don't get to choose what I'm going to do. My thirst kicks in, but I choose when I want to get a drink, not my thoughts, not my brain. So when I'm at the 45-minute mark and I'm dying of thirst, I just tell myself, well, sorry, pal, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't drink right now. You have to wait. You got another 45 minutes to go. And I don't even think of it as a choice. There is no choice. I don't give myself a choice. I don't say, well, you know what? I could stop. No, it's just not happening. You're just not getting the water. We saw Mike Tyson this past week. Now, yeah, was it a stage thing? In my opinion, yeah. Um, he took it easy on the kid, I think, Jake Paul. I really think that Tyson's in a lot better shape than what he looked like in the ring that night. I think that was a ploy for money. But 58 years old, and he's able to do that. I mean, that's how many 58-year-olds can stand there and actually box. You know, I do a lot of training as well as weightlifting with boxing training with virtual boxing. There's the Oculus, where you could train against heavyweight fighters. I mean, obviously you're not getting hit, you're not getting hurt, which, there's no need to do that. I'm not a professional fighter, but you get to parry punches, you get to block, you get to use your footwork, you get to throw punches, and you get to literally fight, a heavyweight fighter without the injuries. And they're 3-minute rounds, and I love it. I mean, I go 3 minutes, and they're 5 rounds, and because they're 5 rounds, I just restart it and do another one right away, and then restart it, do another one. So I do 15 rounds, like the old days when they had 15-round fights. So I'll just keep boxing and throwing punches, ducking, and doing all those different things. Hit the heavy bag, those types of things. To just to keep in shape, just to keep doing it. Am I? I'll tell you a story. I went and this is about a year ago now, but it was the last time I played open hockey. Open hockey is when you go to the rink and we have some people and who show up, and it's just a bunch of people who want to play. And there was a kid who was a really good hockey player. I mean, when I played hockey, I was a good hockey player. I was never a great hockey player. And what held me back was my skating. I wasn't a good skater. I really was a bad skater. And I had a lot of hockey skills. I could shoot the puck really hard. I could stick handle pretty well. I had a lot of good moves. And my hockey IQ was really, really high because I studied the game. I just love the game. And when I do something, everything's with passion. I jump in and I do it, and I'm jammed into it. So that helped me be a better hockey player than I would have been. And then when I got to college and became a better skater, I was a much better hockey player. I was actually won league. I actually led the league in scoring. I got myself to the point where I could do that, but that was because of the tremendous amount of work that I put in to try to get better. But over the last several years, with having a family and work and everything else, I skate maybe 3 times, 4 times a year tops, maybe twice. So I went to open hockey, and there was a kid, and he was really good, probably 21 years old. Good, great hockey player, better than me, better than I ever was. Even when I was a young guy, I couldn't touch him. Kid was great. But what he was doing was he was turning his stick upside down, and he was stick handling with the butt end of the stick and going by everybody. And I finally shouted out. I said to everybody who was playing, I said, listen, don't defend him. He's trying to show how great he is. We get it. We get it. You're a great player. You're better than all of us. We see that. And he looked at me and he saw my gray beard. And the first thing he said, what's your problem, old man? And some things light my fuse still. I mean, I know I'm getting older, but and maturity should win out sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't. And he lit the fuse, and I said, okay. I said, you wanna call me old man? That's fine. I said, you're a good hockey player. You're a better hockey player than me. I said, but how about we do this? I got an idea for you. How about I stand at this blue line here, and you go down to the other end of the rink, way down at the boards on the other side. And I want you to skate as fast as you can. And I'll stand still at the blue line. And I want you to take off, and I want you to run me as hard as you can. And I told him, I said, but if you do it, I guarantee you're not going to like what happens. Your season's over. And I said, you have no idea what's under this equipment. I said, but I'm willing to do it. I said, so are we good, or you want to do it? And he said, whatever. And then so he was intimidated. But, it was like, you gotta, you don't want to get cocky, because one day that 21-year-old is going to be a 50-year-old man too. And some kid might come up to him and say, hey man, why don't you go play beer league hockey, and, make fun of him. And he's going to be in the same boat. And I told him that afterwards. I said, you're 21 now, but 30 years is going to go by pretty quick, and you're going to be closing in. You're going to be over 50, and then what happens then? Are you gonna remember this? Are you going to look back and remember this? I think we have another comment, so please, if you could put that up. There's Joe Del Campo. So good to see you, Joe. My buddy Ed, who I play tennis with, he expired at the age of 83. He's missed. I'm sure he is. You wouldn't believe the shape he was in until he got sick. He was fit as a fiddle. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I mean, we're all going to die. We don't have a choice in that matter either. That's another thing that we don't have a choice in. If I had a choice, nobody would die. I lost my uncle 2 weeks ago. Funeral's this Wednesday. I, I don't want him to go. I don't want to see him gone. But that's what life is. We don't have a choice. I don't like that. I don't think anybody does. But that's what you want to do. I mean, an 83-year-old man who's playing tennis and in great shape. Yeah, I mean, they called them pops. Okay. Yeah, just saying they called them pops. Oh, he says, wait till I get called pops. Yeah, I'm sure that's coming. That's coming. I know. I know. But it's again, there are choices that have to be made. And it's the same thing with everything else. It's not just the physical stuff, it's the mental stuff too. It's the dating, it's the other things. It's like my cousin saying, he's 50, whatever, and it's over for him because he's not married and it's done. He'll never be able to find somebody, and it's just it's too late. No, it's not 52. Why is it too late? What is the difference? Why can't he meet a 30-year-old? Why can't he meet a 40-year-old? Why can't he meet a 55-year-old? I mean, there's no reason for that. I had a discussion with another friend of mine over the summer, and he was talking about frustration. And I think we're mature adults here. We're honest. And he was telling me that one of his frustrations was that his wife no longer really wanted to participate in sex. I mean, it just wasn't her thing. And he said that it was hard for him, and it was something that was difficult, and he dealt with it, but he didn't like it. He said it was something that was bothering, and he would ask her. He would say, "Well, why do you feel that way? Why do you feel unattractive, or do you feel is it menopause, or is it a hormonal thing? Are you depressed? Is it this or is it that?" And she said, "No, we're just old." And that's where I think the frustration for him comes in. Now, I would not have told this story in the summer because maybe it would implicate the person I'm talking about. So I waited till now. It's November, so nobody would know who I'm talking about. But this happened over the summer, and uh, I, to me, that's a legitimate bone of contention, I guess, or I don't know how else to say it. It's something that's frustrating because he feels like he's in his mid-50s and he still sexually he desires sex. He desires intimacy. He desires that closeness, that feeling, and he's not able to get it. And if that's the case, it's hard. It's a hard sacrifice. That's not easy to ask of anyone. We have two more comments. Please, let's see those. Rachel, sorry about your uncle. Thank you. I really appreciate it. He was a great guy. Do you think athletes now have it easier to play longer? Thinking of Tom Brady, or maybe it doesn't matter athletes now versus then because of Mark Messier. Rachel got a point both ways. Look at I think that more and more athletes are going to play longer, closer to 50 than 40. I really do think the 50s are the new 40s, the 40s are the new 30s. I really think that's happening because if you think about the turn of the century, uh, that has already happened, right? I mean, the 20s, you were by the time you were 26, 27 years old, you were considered, starting to become middle aged, right? Now we're talking about middle age. I know 35 is technically middle age, but we really don't consider a 35-year-old middle age now. I mean, we don't. We're just much more active. So I think we're going to see a lot more Tom Brady's. I think we're going to see a lot more Jaromir Jagrs who play. Jaromir Jagr was 52 and he was still playing professional hockey in Czechoslovakia. Mark Messier, absolutely. I mean, he played close to 40. I think he might have been 40 or 41. So he played a long time, and that was in the 90s into the early 2000s. He played, I think, until 2002 or 4, 2004. Gordie Howe, a friend of mine, Mark Howe, used to play for the Flyers. We've become friends over the years, which is mind blowing to me. I remember watching him as a 10-year-old, and to have him over my house and doing a documentary with me and playing on the ice with him and taking a pass from him, it was like my 10-year-old brain would have exploded if that would have if you would have told that 10-year-old kid back then. But Gordie Howe, his father, played till he was 51, and he was still scoring goals. He was still playing on the power play and scoring goals like crazy. So he was still a good hockey player. Was he as good as he was in his prime? No, but he could still play professional hockey at that age. I mean, that's Tom Brady was what, 46, 47? I don't remember exact age, but he was in his mid 40s and he was still maybe not top quarterback in the league, top five. So could he still play today? Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. If he came out of retirement tomorrow, there'd be teams lining up to get him. He could still play, keeps himself young, because he's chronologically in his 40s, but it's changing. It's moving. That target's moving. It's not the same as it was before. So whatever it is that you want to do, you do it. I'm not telling people how to live their life. I'm not telling you that you have to go out and go to the gym. You don't want to go to the gym, don't go to the gym. Really, if that's not something you want to do, don't do it. If you don't want to ride a bike, don't ride a bike. I'll tell you right now, Mark Howe, 67-ish, was talking to him over the spring. NHL All-Star, right? Great player, one of the best Flyers that have ever played, one of the best hockey Hall of Famer. And he told me that he rollerblades some days, not every day. Some days he rollerblades. I think he said 20 miles or 25 miles. I think 25. It was 12 and a half miles away from his house and 12 and a half miles back. So 25 miles. And he runs some days something like 14 miles or something like that. No, I'm sorry. It's more than 10 miles, I think it is. 5 up and 5 back. The guy's 67 years old. Now, who's going to tell him that he can't do that, right? Are you going to say, well, no, stop doing that. You're 67. We can't have that. You're too old. You can't do it. He can do it. He doesn't. And that's because he's made a decision. And this is a guy who's had back surgeries like you wouldn't believe and back problems that most people don't even, I mean, if you knew him personally, you would know. And he's told me a lot about it. It's it's not easy, but he forces himself to do it. So comment about real love being dead can show or not. Okay, so Joe's saying, I think real romance is dead. If you already have it, great. You won't find it anymore. Joe, I gotta disagree with you. I hate to do this because you're one of my closest friends and we've known each other for a long time. We played hockey together when I was a kid, and you were a little older than me, and you were always the guy who I looked up to and tried to try to stop you as much as I could. It wasn't easy, and you hurt me a couple times, Joe. But I don't agree. I don't think real romance is dead. I think it depends on where you're looking for it. I think it depends on the person who you're looking for it with. It depends on what your idea of romance is. I think that matters. I think what's romantic to one person might not be to another. We talk about love languages and things like that. We could do a show on that, but I really don't think it's dead. I think it's hard to find sometimes. I don't think people are as honest as they could be. I think people probably hold back more than they've done before. I think there's some fear, especially with the internet. But listen, you can uh, anybody who's computer savvy, in all honesty, you can pretty much find anybody's cell phone number who is famous or not famous. In minutes, I could probably find you. If you named a celebrity, I could give you their cell phone number probably within minutes. I've done it. I've actually done it, and it works. Um, so people are a little afraid because they're like, well, all of my information's out there. When what was her name? Dawn Wells. Dawn Wells was Marianne on Gilligan's Island. She looked fantastic up until she died. She was in her 80s and she was beautiful. Uh, they interviewed Tina Louise, who played Ginger. And again, I'm showing my age here because some of you have no idea what Gilligan's Island is. But I remember Tina Louise, they asked her how old she was because she's the last surviving person from the show. And she said, well, I don't give out my age. Well, what was the first thing I did? I went on Google and looked up Tina Louise, 91. You can't hide much it's all there. $9.99. I could have every background check I want on anybody I want. Now, I don't do that because I don't have the need to do that. But if I was an employer and I wanted to get a background check on somebody, yeah, I mean, I for $10 to find out if they have a criminal record or find out if they have a lien on a house or find out all these different things. Yeah, I mean, the internet opens us up to a lot of things. So I don't think romance is dead. I think it's just it's shifting, it's changing the way that it works. Um, I, I don't believe, no matter how old you are, that there's a time to say I'm going to give up on love, or I'm going to, married or unmarried, I'm going to give up on love and just live out this string. That's just not, in my opinion, the way that anybody should live their life. If you're living your life because you want to live out the string and you're just saying, well, I'm just kind of content and this is the way it is that is happiness? Is that happiness? I don't know. For some people it might be enough. For other people it might not be enough. So no, I don't think romance is dead. I think that it's work. I think you got to work at it and find somebody who appreciates it and hope they reciprocate. And if they don't, then you just move on. I mean, there's nothing else you could do. You can't make somebody fall in love with you. You can't make somebody want to be with you. You can try and you give it the best you can. And I know a lot of single guys that I talk to. I say the same thing to them all the time. And some of them are optimistic, and some of them say, "Hey, I meet a lot of great women, and it's great, and I'm really excited, and dating's fun." And then there are other friends of mine who are totally pessimistic, and they say, "I'm shot." And I say, "Why are you shot?" "Well, I'm 48 years old." Like, so what? You're 48 years old. Why are you shot? You're not 148. You're 48. You're not shot. It's not over. And it's not a denial thing. Some people might say, "Well, oh, you're just in denial. You're just saying these things because you're pushing 50. So, you're trying to find a trap door to get out of it." No, no, not at all. I realize my age. I know where I am. I know where I sit. Again, would I trade and become a 25-year-old again? Sure, I would. I would love to. I can't do that. I don't have a time machine. I can't go back in time and make myself a young guy. But I can make myself the youngest guy I possibly can be at my age. And I think that's a lesson for all of us. That's not just me. I think you have a choice just like I have a choice. How many times have we seen people who are obese, 500 pounds, more, maybe 600 pounds, who've gone to the gym and worked out, got down to 250 pounds or 300 pounds. They lost 300 or 400 pounds. They lost more than half their body weight. Why? Because they made a decision. They said, I don't want this anymore. This is not what I want. I want to be happy. I want to be thinner. And then there might be somebody who says, look, I'm 600 pounds and I want to be 600 pounds. I love food. I don't care. I don't care what my blood pressure is. I don't care what my cholesterol is. It doesn't matter to me. That's fair. That's fair. You can say that. Now, does that mean that you're going to live as long as somebody who doesn't do that? No, you're probably not. I mean, let's be real, right? There are trade-offs. Some things are pleasurable, but there's trade-offs. Some people like to smoke. All right, you have the right to smoke. Anybody who wants to smoke cigarettes over 18 years old or 21, whatever it is now, you can smoke all the cigarettes you want. But you got a chance to get lung cancer. You got a chance of getting COPD or both, or what, heart disease. you don't get to decide what the ramifications are. Let me tell you, if steroids were legal and steroids were healthy, I'd be on them. I would be on them. I make no bones about that. I've never tried them, never used them. I haven't even done TRT. I've asked my doctor about TRT, which is hormone replacement therapy for men, testosterone replacement therapy. And she said, you don't need it. She said, you'll be stuck with it for the rest of your life because your body will stop making testosterone and then you'll have to take the supplements. And she said, your testosterone is at a high level. Why would you want to go higher than high? So I said, all right, that makes sense. Because my theory was if I have a high testosterone level, wouldn't a higher one be even better? Well, drinking water is good. You drink 5 gallons of water, you die of water intoxication. So you have to look at the fact that some things are good for you, but in excess, maybe not so much. So we all get to make decisions on how we want to live our lives. Don't say we so much when you're in conversations with people because they may not feel the same way. You know, we can't do this anymore. We can't do that anymore. To me, in my head, I'm saying, don't lump me in with you. If you feel that way, that's okay. You can feel that way, but don't put me in that boat. I don't want to be in that boat. I want to be in the boat where I do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. And it's not an arrogance and it's not uh, 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 cockiness. I know their limitations. You know, I'll never bench press 500 pounds. That's not going to happen. But I've seen people do it. I wish I could. I know I won't, but is what it is, right? So I want to wrap it up just by saying thank you for all of the comments and for joining the show. And I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I hope you understand that it's not a place of criticism, and I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life or trying to shame anyone or anything like that. Not at all. You got to choose what's going to make you happy in life, you know. And then once you choose that, then go with it. You know, it's never easy. Nobody said that this life was going to be easy. It's not easy. We're coming up ourselves on a tough week. We're going to have to say goodbye to my Uncle Robert, who we love very much and meant a lot to us. And you know, that's not going to be easy, but we're every one of us faces these hardships. And I'm not saying I'm great at it. I'm not saying that there aren't times that I'm not down and having trouble to get up, but I'll tell you one thing. I learned that you can punch and cry at the same time. And that's important because you can be crying, but you can be throwing punches at the same time and keep fighting. And that's what you got to do. So I hope you join us next week. And here's my business. If anybody's interested, I do computer training. Um, I train people on Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, Visio, Project, Teams. The website, as you can see here, is www.justforyou, all one word, JUSTFORYOUTC.com. And I do soft skills too, time management, conflict management, different soft skills. I also, and we also, as we end the show, just real quickly about the charity, we got our first ever donation from someone anonymously for $2,000 for our game coming up in August 23rd of 2025. $2,000 from an anonymous person. Just amazing. And I hope pretty soon tickets are going to go on sale. I'm working on that now. But we're Checkmates Charitable Association. We help people with ostomies and with Crohn's, colitis, inflammatory bowel disease. We're also connected with Rolf Benershka, who is a former NFL Man of the Year. He kicked in the NFL for 7 years for the Chargers with an ostomy. And he was the first person I ever heard about that made me think I'd have a life after the ostomy. So I owe Rolf everything. He's like the older brother I didn't have. So I have a younger brother, but he's the older brother I didn't have. And I love Rolf, and he's going to be part of the show too. He's going to be coming on in December a few times and joining us. But August 23rd, players that might be involved. There be, and I say might because it is fluid. Everybody's schedule could be different. But so far, we got Mark Recchi, Brian Pratt. We have Rod Brindamore. We have Kevin Deneen. We have Lou Nolan's going to announce. We have Lauren Hart coming to sing. You can find me on LinkedIn if you want to learn more about it as well, as you see my LinkedIn profile. So as we end the show, we're just going to play a clip of some of the games from prior years, what you have to look forward to. And the tickets, get this, $70. You get to hang out with these great celebrities. 2-hour open bar after the game. So a really cool game with the stars on each side, right? We're going to have stars on both teams, so it's a close game. And it'll be exciting hockey. And then we're going to have 2-hour open bar and then a buffet. And you sit with the players. They'll talk to you. They'll sign autographs. They will drink a beer with you. Everything you can think of. It's going to be an incredible event. And I'm going to say this again, as I say on every show. 700 people will fit in that restaurant. I want to see 700 people in that restaurant. And I want 700 hugs. I want to hug every single person that walks in there. And in that rink, it holds 1,000 people. And I want 1,000 people in that rink. And I want 1,000 hugs in that rink. And I'll be standing by the door waiting for you. So come in and be a part of it. Now watch this, and thank you.
Hey everybody, I just want to tell you how thankful I am that you came out tonight and helped us out on a very special evening. Crohn's and colitis are terrible diseases and they affect a lot of people, not only in the Delaware Valley, but all over the world. And hopefully we can find a cure someday.
Lou Nolan here with you at the Checkmates versus the Flyers alumni. We had a great time this afternoon. Game was close, and we're all here for Checkmates Charities, which is the real reason that everybody's here, not only the players, but all the fans that were here. It was a great day, and we're really happy to be here.
It was fun to be out here at Northeast Skate Zone because the Checos were a pretty good team, and so we had a lot of fun with the charity. And it was good because they took it easy on us old guys. So no, we had a good time. So anytime you can do something for charity, and I know a couple guys on the other team, and just to be on the rink, we all go have fun.
Good times go. I'm either gone in an instant or here to the bitter, and I never know what I got.
I want to thank my family for all that they did to help me get through this, and there's a lot of planning that get done. It has to get done. I want to thank Nick's Roast Beef and Common Avenue for all they've done. Dr. Prieto for saving my life and finding the disease and treating me for so long. And the Flyers organization for all they do to help us raise money every year. So thank you everybody, I appreciate it.
I'll see you when I fall asleep. Baby, I'm ready to go. Baby, I'm ready to go. Baby, I'm ready to go.
So everybody, are you ready to go? Are you ready to come and watch that game and join us. I hope so, because we're going to help a lot of people at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia in the GI department, and we're going to help Rolf Benershka to help people with an ostomy. And these are very underfunded and very neglected groups of people. And the older I get, the more passionate I want to get. So I'm fired up, and I want everybody fired up. So we will see you next week. I hope you join us again on You as a Whole, Body, Mind, and Soul.